What is the... Am I live? Okay, I don't know what's going on, people. I'm having problems right now. It looks like... Oh, okay, you're here. Somebody... Okay, we're doing better now. Now, for whatever reason, I have to rename this live stream. Sorry about that. And don't tolerate dogs. My apologies. I don't know what the problem is, but I have a whole new setup over here, and just bear with me, if you would, please. Let me change my thumbnail. Now, for people who don't know, I had a strike against my channel, so I won't be able to upload content on my main channel for 1 week. Right, so I have 6 days to go. Big shout out to everybody who is in the room. Anti-Mutt Nutter, Isabel. I don't know what's going on right now. I think my other live stream is actually rolling. I think it's actually live, and I need to... Okay, it's actually live. This is horrible. This is horrible, and I don't know what to do. And I need to... Oh my goodness, what is going on? Okay, I need to end one of these live... This is horrible. This is horrible. How did y'all find this chat room? I don't know how you found it. There's an echo? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, just bear with me, people. I don't know how to fix this, but I'm having a problem. I have 2 live streams going on at the same time. But I got a strike against my channel. Okay, I got a strike against my channel, and I can't upload content for 1 week. So I'm going to go ahead and say what I want to say on this channel, on this live stream. And I won't be too long, because there's a bunch of things going on here that I don't like. It's making me uncomfortable. But I wanted to share some more information, some more statistics that some of you may have been aware of, but I forgot to mention it in my latest stream of live streams. Now, as you all know, I went over the information. By the way, they gave me a strike because of that child, where I showed the child getting punched by his father. That original video is still up, but they took mine down. I don't know. But anyways, I don't want to dwell on that. I shared the information about, and I think it's undeniable at this point. I think it's undeniable. And I want to motivate as many white people as possible to go to war against dogs. Because look, don't let anybody tell you that it's not important. Don't fall into this trap where you believe that only racists are concerned about their population declining. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That it should be everyone's concern. No matter what race you are, if you find out that only your race is declining, you should be concerned, and you should take steps against it and make sure that your population starts to increase. So I want as many whites as possible to wage war. I'm excited about this because I feel like this is very powerful motivation. Very powerful motivation. It's like the best possible source of motivation. But I don't want white people out there to feel like only racist. I mean, if you think about it, it doesn't even make common sense to say that it's racist to be concerned about your population decreasing. No, it is not. So I want as many whites as possible to feel motivated and to take up arms and join us in this crusade against these worthless mutants. Now, I think it's undeniable. My personal opinion, I think it's undeniable that dogs are one of the main reasons for the depopulation of white America. Most definitely in the top 3. Honestly, I think it's number 1. Again, not interracial relationships. White women, they don't date interracial like that. White men are not crazy about dating interracial like that. Whites in America are the most loyal group of people in America. They're more loyal to each other than Asians. Okay? Asian women date out more than any other demographic. Okay? So it's not interracial relationships. It is the fact that so many women say, you know what? I don't want kids. I just want a dog. And it is primarily because of this dog culture that has swept the nation off its feet. And look at how much of a head start this trend has, this fad of being a dog mom. And notice how this dog mom trend or fad, notice how it coincides with the decline of the white population. You really did not hear anything about the white population becoming stagnant, having a 0 growth rate, and now we hear about the decline. You only started to hear about this when this dog mom, dog lover culture got stronger and stronger. I believe it's the number 1 cause. However, now look, real men don't tolerate this. Real men don't, and I want to motivate the men. I want to motivate every group of people possible. Every group of people possible. The men, you should find your masculinity in the attention of your women. Don't tolerate your women viewing dogs as more attractive than you. Don't do it. That should infuriate all of you. If you were not disgusted before, you should be disgusted now. And you should wage war against these mutants. And you should do everything in your power to make sure dogs are not around, no matter what you're doing. Whether it's in your family, in a movie, in a commercial. Reject these therapy dogs in hospitals, dentist offices, schools. Go up to your school and tell them, I don't want therapy dogs in the classroom with my child. It is time to literally wage war on this dog culture. Now, if this is not enough motivation, I have some more information for you. I have some more information from you. And this is something that men don't tolerate. Real men don't tolerate this, people. Now, as we all know, dogs, when they attack, they usually attack children. We all know this, right? Over 50% of all dog attack victims are children under the age of 13. Now that should be all the motivation that we need. Now I'm talking about all races now. All races. Okay? Over 50% of the victims are kids. But how many of you have reflected on what percentage of the country are kids? Wouldn't that make this statistic even more staggering? Think about it. It wouldn't be such a problem if children actually made up 70% of the country. If 70% of America was children under the age of 13, then the fact that over half of all dog attack victims would not be that surprising. But how many of you are aware that children, and it's smaller than this, people, under the age of 14, according to this source, only make up about 18% of this country's population? Now, this chart says 0 to 14. If it were to say 0 to 13 or 0 to 12, this percentile would be lower. Think about that. Kids only make up about, I will say, 17% of this country. Yet over 50% of all victims are kids. What does that tell you? Dogs are targeting children. It's irrefutable at this point. They're targeting children. Like I've always said, they prefer to attack children. Isn't it undeniable at this point? I think it's undeniable. And I think this is an alarming statistic. I mean, just imagine if kids only made up 5% of the country, yet they made up over 50% of all dog attack victims. That's an extreme case, but you would have a clearer picture of how much they're being targeted, wouldn't you? Like, hey, over 50% of attacks are kids. Kids only make up 55% of the country. It's ridiculous. Well, this is not much further from that. Age 0 to 14 is only 18% of this country's population. So the age range that are attacked the most should be between 15 and 64 years old. Look at how wide, wait a minute, can y'all see this? Yeah, look at how wide this age range is. Age 15 to 64. And that age makes up 65% of this country. If dogs attacked indiscriminately, then the major victims would be age 15 to 64. That's not the case. That is not the case. So you see the title of the live stream. Real men don't tolerate dogs. Why? Because they are, or they can reduce your population. If you have this trend of dog mom, I hate kids, you got all these crazy websites, and I mean, people, they are innumerable. The number of articles, they have t-shirts, they have cards. Here's a t-shirt, here's card. There's a never ending, there's just a litany of cards and websites. This has not only caught on, this has programmed these women. I bet you anything that many of them will say negative things about children, even if they don't have kids. Just the simple thought of a child might disgust many of these women. Like I said, You can't entertain rhetoric like this. Eventually, it will have an effect on your psyche. You're going to accept it eventually. Just like if you know something is a lie, but yet you tell yourself that it's the truth, eventually you're going to actually feel like the lie is the truth. I believe that's the tactic they use to beat lie detector tests, is to convince yourself to believe the lie. Tell it to yourself over and over. Well, this is what they are telling themselves. Dogs are better than kids. Dogs are just like kids. There's no difference. And on top of all that, on these websites that they have all over the internet, they make a list of reasons why dogs are better than kids. And they are very troubling. These are disturbing websites. Now, some of you may say, well, it's just comedy. They're just doing it for fun. No, it's never fun and it's never comedy. Even if something starts out as a joke, you better take it serious, because it doesn't matter if it's a joke or not. As long as it's being regurgitated, as long as it's being put out there for the masses to absorb, it's dangerous. You better take it seriously. Now, on this website, she listed no pregnancy, no labor, or delivery. Said, are you sold already? Look at this. If they barf, they usually eat it. So cleanup is minimal. Right? It sounds, oh, she's just joking. No. They internalize this stuff, man. They internalize it. You can cuss in front of them without fearing they'll repeat it. If you have more than one, their arguments are usually quick and dirty, so there's no need to referee. If they think you're fat, they keep their mouths shut. More of this brain dead rhetoric, giving dogs credit for not doing something that they're incapable of doing anyways. They couldn't pass judgment on your weight even if they wanted to. In fact, they're too dumb to even be aware of it. So this is not a game. This is as real as it gets. When you embrace something so much that it actually causes your population to decline, you have a problem. When your kids only make up, let's say, 17%, this is not even a quarter of the population. When your kids make up some 17% of the population, yet they make up over 50% of the attacks, dogs are targeting your kids. They are waiting for you to turn around, to walk out of the room, and quite often they will just attack them with you standing right there. We have heard reports of dogs jumping up in the arms of a parent and attacking infants as the parent is holding them. Right? Shout out and big thanks to Chef Bumpmeat, helped to share my new channel here. When you get a strike, you can't even make posts, community posts. Moochie in the building, Ashar in the building. Welcome everybody. We hate dogs in the building. So yeah, I'll take that. But this is serious. Buster Gundo, this is serious. Yusuf Mambo, I see you. This is alarming statistics, in my opinion. For kids to only make up some 17% of the population, yet make up over 50% of the dog attack victims. Now, that's just children. Now let's factor in how many of those dog attack victims are female. It's not just about kids, men. Our natural duty on this earth is to protect kids and women. Kids and women. So dogs are literally waging war on your manhood. That's exactly how people should view it. The presence of dogs is an attack on your masculinity. It is, and it's overt, a blatant attack on your manhood. You can't tolerate that. I'm telling you, in due time, we're going to motivate people. This message is going to resonate because it's the truth. It's not some type of propaganda that I personally whipped up in my little laboratory and laying it on the public. It's undeniable proof. Now, most of you are subscribed to Pitbull Victim Awareness, and this channel is really taking off. I'm very proud of this channel. Here, let me change my screens here. People are catching on, and they're starting to wake up. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, here we go. But as you scroll through this channel, you clearly see who the primary victims are. If the victim is not a child, then it's usually a woman. Here you got one lone man. Primarily women and children. You can't tolerate this. There's no debate. You can't rationalize it or anything like that. Now, I actually did a report on this one. Here, they just uploaded this 14 hours ago. Here, let me go here. Let me check this out. See what they had to say about this. I already know this is crazy. This is that pit bull advocate. That pit bull advocate that got attacked. Right? I'm sure y'all remember. Here, let's check it out.
A Perry County woman was killed by 3 pit bulls that she was caring for. 60-year-old Rhoda Wagner of Newport was found dead in the front yard of a home.
Man, again, an adult. Can you imagine how long it took for her to die? What a gruesome, horrific way to die. I mean, you die slowly. Slowly. Can you imagine? And she's a pit bull lover. Can you imagine what she may have been saying to the pit bulls as they were mauling her? All the sweet talk, it doesn't work. Calling them pibbles and angel, none of it works. These pit bulls, as they attack you, they're looking you dead in the eye. Looking at the woman that's been feeding them and caring for them. These things are heartless, soulless. And she should have never wasted a moment of her life doing anything for creatures that do things like this on a regular basis. That's common sense.
Was killed by 3 pit bulls that she was caring for. 60-year-old Rhoda Wagner of Newport was found dead in the front yard of a home. State police say she was attacked by the dogs, which were owned by her roommate. All 3 dogs were euthanized afterward.
Okay, so she was dog sitting. She was dog sitting, just like Jacqueline Duran.
60-year-old Rhoda Wagner was found dead on the front lawn of her Miller Township home in Perry County, with 3 pit bull terriers running in the yard. Officials' investigation determining Wagner was alone at the time. The report continuing to say she was attacked by the dogs for an unknown reason.
Just like that girl who crawled on the elevator. Y'all remember that girl who crawled on the elevator as she was being attacked by the pit bull? Women have no business being alone with a pit bull. This woman was alone with 3 pit bulls. There's no excuse for that. And if you're going to be alone with a pit bull or multiple pit bulls, you better have a gun. You better have a gun. If not, I mean, you're totally at the mercy of these things.
We are actually under the impression that two dogs got into a fight and Rhoda was trying to break them up.
The release said,
Okay? She said that they believe that the dogs got in a fight and that she tried to break them up. So, in other words, this lady just blamed the death, the killing, on redirected aggression, which really is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if they were fighting and she tried to break them up. The dogs are supposed to know her. They're supposed to love her, right? They're supposed to be aware of their caretaker, right? If they're too dumb, and if they're going to treat their caretaker like an enemy, then they have no place in society.
was attacked by the dogs for an unknown reason.
We are actually under the impression that two dogs got into a fight and Rhoda.
Unknown reason. Do y'all know how they always say that the reason is unknown and that they're doing an investigation? How many of y'all noticed this? That it's unknown why the dog attacked. Unknown. You hear it story after story. But notice, in each of these cases, they do an investigation. You notice how they never discover why the dogs attacked? They never, ever, ever discover the reason why, because there is no reason. They attack because they're dogs, and dogs, that's what they do.
Was trying to break them up.
The release saying the dogs who attacked Wagner were owned by Wagner's roommate and had been staying there for over a month. Wagner was helping to care for them.
Okay, so she had been with the dogs for over a month. Isn't that right? Isn't that what she said? Let me rewind this. I want to make sure I get this clear.
The release saying the dogs who attacked Wagner were owned by Wagner's roommate and had been staying there for over a month.
Yeah, that was her roommate. So the dogs knew the victim for over a month, still killed her. And I'm quite sure she fed the dog several times. She petted on them and rubbed on them several times. We know this. The dogs didn't care. They never care. They can't care. So why should we care for them? We shouldn't rescue them. We shouldn't feed them. We shouldn't shelter them. They don't care.
Wagner was helping to care for them while the roommate was away at the time of the attack.
The past week has been really hard.
Police say 3 dogs were euthanized at the Humane Society of Harrisburg area with the consent of their owner.
This family has been going through so much.
Wagner's son, Bobby, her sister, Michelle, and her best friend, Carla Mae Snow, say she was an advocate for pit bulls.
I know if
She was an advocate for pit bulls. Okay?
she would be alive today, she would not want to see pit bulls be brought down any more than they already are.
If she was alive today, she would not want to see pit bulls brought down any more than they already are. That's what this lady just said. Here, let me rewind that.
If she would be alive today, she would not want to see pit bulls be brought.
Okay? I think was her home, or is her home. She got the rebel flags, 2 rebel flags up here. I don't know what this is. This big yellow flag right here. But man, are you serious? Are you serious? Look at Rhonda, you are a pit bull. Wait a minute. This is something that she posted on social media. That's right. Which dog breed goes with your personality? One of those little online tests. And they found that she was a pit bull. And she posted, yeah, that's right. You are 100% loyal. So, is that what a loyal creature does? Just hauls off and mutilates you for no reason? Look at this. You love with all your heart. Is that what the dogs were showing her as they mutilated her and bled her slowly? Was that their way of showing her that they loved her? You are sometimes misunderstood, okay? Are they still misunderstood? You have a gentle heart. Every time they talk about these things, they talking about, oh, they're just misunderstood. They have a gentle heart. they're loving, they're angels. But yet they always, and I mean always, attacking people. So there's nothing misunderstood here.
Brought down any more than they already are.
Why not? Why wouldn't she want them to be brought down any more than they already are? They need to be brought down lower than they currently are. What are you talking about? They're removing pit bull bans all over the country. Nobody's bringing them down. This country is lifting pit bulls up. They should be exterminated. I mean, and this 60-year-old woman, what's wrong with you? Don't you have kids? Don't you have grandkids? Why not protect yourself for your grandkids, great grandkids? So reckless, but this is what I'm talking about. These people are insane. They don't care about themselves.
Loving hers immensely.
She loves her dogs. She was always sending us pictures of her dogs.
Allah, she loves her dogs. Always sending us pictures of her dogs. Just like a whole bunch of all the other dog lovers you see on social media. Until they get mutilated. And then they take their social media down. Scrub the internet.
Taking a nap with her or babying her when she's sick. Rhoda was a special person and would do anything for anybody. And she loved her animals. She loved her animals.
She loves her animals. She literally died for her, quote, animals. But all that big old heart and all that love didn't sway the dogs. This is what I've been talking about, man, for years. The whole point in expressing love is seeing it be accepted by an entity that understands it. Why would you waste your energy or spirit of love on a brick wall? Why would you waste your life by doing that? Talking and rubbing and caring for an inanimate object. That's basically what they're doing. And they're actually doing worse than that. Because a brick wall is not going to attack you. At least a brick wall is not going to mutilate you. You can leave your child alone with a brick wall. This is dumber than talking to a brick wall. And that is no stretch of the imagination. Dumber than talking to a stuffed teddy bear.
Friends turned family in tears.
I just want the whole world to know what she was and who she was. I just want everybody to know that she was a really, really heartfelt, special person.
Perry County.
Man, what a way to dishonor someone's memory. If you are a relative or a friend, you're supposed to get on camera and say, if you own a pit bull, get rid of them. This was the biggest lover of pit bulls. She loved pit bulls with all her heart, and they still killed her. She was attacked by 3 pit bulls. So not one of those pit bulls tried to fight off the others. They all joined in and participated. So that means pit bulls are not loving, and they do not appreciate love. Don't even understand your love, so don't waste it on them. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make sense? What does not make sense is to waste all that love on a worthless mutant that doesn't even understand it. I tell people all the time, stop rubbing on this stupid dog. They don't view or accept you rubbing on them or petting on them as affection. People should value the affection and love that they're capable of giving. Isn't that the reward? Like a birthday party, someone's birthday, they walk into the door and there's a crowd of people. They got cakes, they got balloons. And as soon as they walk in, everybody says, surprise. The reward in doing something like that is seeing their face light up. The reward is seeing them holding back their tears of joy. Why would you waste this kind of energy on a dog? I don't want to hear anything negative about human beings. Yes, there are some negative people out here who do negative things some of the time. But when dogs are negative, they're deadly. Let's not talk as if there's nothing negative about dogs. You know how they always go over the wonderful things about dogs and how terrible humans behave. Well, dogs behave terribly as well. What about that? But the difference is humans understand affection, they understand love, and they appreciate it. They can hug you back. They can rub on your back as they hug you. They can talk to you, say thank you. That made my day. I didn't think anybody remembered that this was my birthday. These are special times in our life. And moments like this really helps to extend our life. It's heart healthy. It is healthy, literally healthy for your heart. To see someone appreciate your show of affection. So it's really counterproductive to waste this emotional energy on a brain dead, brainless, good for nothing, worthless mutt. Unbelievable. People, these people, every time I talk about these dog lovers, it feels like the very first time. Man, their lunacy never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to amaze me. Thank you, Michael. Michael said, happy birthday. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, exactly. Yes, now, I wanted to watch that. Now look, pit bull victim awareness is becoming more and more efficient. I've noticed that they're not just uploading old stories. Some of these stories are actually current. So they're keeping up with the news as well, and that's good. Who's this?
An aged black and white photo can't quite capture.
Now, I think this is the story that just surfaced a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Vibrant red hair of Betty Williams, affectionately nicknamed Rusty. She's described as petite, but a larger-than-life personality and a survivor in many ways, serving in the military in her younger years and most recently in remission from cancer. She was just 2 months shy of her 87th birthday when she died after being attacked by 3 dogs. Police say the dogs have been...
Man, no elderly person should go out like this. I mean, no person, period. But you don't live into your 80s and 90s just to get killed slowly and tortured by no dog. Old people, they have no business living alone with a dog. There should be nothing in your home capable of killing you. Unbelievable.
Seized on her
And once again, it was 3 pit bulls. The 60-some-year-old woman we just listened to, she was attacked by 3 pit bulls, and so was this lady. Unbelievable.
to be a North American Staffordshire mix, a North American Pit Bull Terrier mix, and an American Pit Bull. Their fate is still unknown.
Always eager to talk across the
The
fence.
pit bull's fate is still unknown. Well, I bet they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait. Because here you have an elderly person who's also a female. Okay? And none of the dogs fought off the other dogs. Again, you can't get people to do that. Somebody is going to fight you off. If you try to jump a dog, you can't get a crowd of people to beat on a dog. No, they're going to tackle you. Not with dogs. Because dogs have no humanity. They don't have a drop of decency in them. And it shows. It's proven in the actual behavior. It's undeniable.
The best person that you could hope to have for a neighbor.
For 45 years, a woman known to neighbors by her nickname Rusty has called this Capitol Hill residence home. Those who knew her say she meticulously cared for her yard and was always tending to her garden. Her freshly pruned bush.
Man, the best neighbors to have is older people. They're not loud. They don't disturb you. They're always in good spirits. They say hi when they see you. Good morning. Nothing makes me feel better than to have an old person say hi, hello, good morning. Because I know they're not being malicious or condescending. Unbelievable.
Bushes in her backyard are proof of her pastime. She had no way of knowing Sunday afternoon would be the last time she would indulge in her hobby. Police say the 86-year-old was attacked and killed by a trio of dogs who live next door. Betty's devoted family is setting up a fundraiser to help with the celebration of life. But as they prepare for her funeral, there are lingering questions about how long it took paramedics to get to her as she lay dying in her back.
Oh, I heard about this. There was some follow-up reports about this, if I'm not mistaken, where they criticized EMS for taking too long. I guess they took like a half hour. Here, let's listen and see what they got to say. But now, this is a legit argument because they were not her dogs. They were the neighbor's dogs. But, you know, somebody who owns dogs and they're attacked by their own dogs, you can't criticize EMS for taking too long. You know, EMS can show up and say, well, you shouldn't have bought them in the first place. Don't buy something and call us to come help save you from it.
Her as she lay dying in her back alley.
Terribly sad.
That's
and,
terrible.
A little frustrated that I wasn't able to get there, like a minute or two sooner to maybe intervene. I had no inkling that they could be aggressive. I had no concern.
Had no inkling that the dogs could be aggressive. There you go. That's the problem right there. I mean, how out of touch with reality could you possibly get? Here you got a predator with a bad temper. I had no idea they could be aggressive.
About them whatsoever.
Police and bylaw services are working together to determine what happened.
We face a scenario where we cannot get paramedics to your emergency call. The trust in our system is waning. Our paramedics are on their knees, desperate for help. And what we have time and again is an employee.
People, is the core problem education or lack of education? Do you think it would help if they actually taught in the public school system, taught them facts about dog attacks, the statistics, the triggers, the severity of the attacks, and how they differ when you deal with pit bulls, for all you pit nutters out there, you know, it couldn't hurt. I would have to imagine it would be helpful. As several people pointed out, there's a lot of people who are not even aware of the information that we talk about all the time. The number of people attacked and all the different triggers, so on and so forth. A lot of people are just totally in the dark about it. Okay, now I don't even want to show any more children. Don't even want to show. That's a shame. You can show it on other channels. That video that I got a strike for is still up. But I get a strike. It lets you know I'm being targeted. Okay, what is this? I haven't even listened to this one yet. Another senior. Alberta, Canada. I think I did report on this.
Told us she rushed out when she heard a commotion in the alley at around 2 o'clock. When she got out, she found her elderly neighbor had apparently been attacked by 3 dogs. Another neighbor, who said he didn't want to appear on camera, told us that he and the dog...
Why not? See, this is... Even after these pit bulls, even after these dogs attack children, attack the women, attack the elderly, primarily women and children, the men are still so chicken that they don't even want to be seen on camera. Come on. Where are the men in society? Where are the men? Real men don't tolerate this. Literally being terrorized by your own or man's best friend. By the same dogs that you embrace, being terrorized on top of being depopulated. How long is this going to go on before the general public starts to wage war against dogs? It's inevitable. It has to be inevitable. Because the truth that we talk about here is not the type of truth that you could just listen to and not reflect on. It's going to stick with you for the rest of your life, because you're going to see constant signs and scenarios where you're going to have to reflect back on this new information that was laid on you.
Apparently been attacked by 3 dogs. Another neighbor, who said he didn't want to appear on camera, told us that he and the dog's owners tried to help the victim as she was lying in the alley.
I went over to see if I could help her out in any way. They're very upset. They're quite traumatized at what's happened. He brought out...
why buy something? Why adopt something? Why own something capable of traumatizing you? Oh, man. Why? Why is it so hard for so many people to use basic common sense? That's the most frustrating thing about it. This is just basic common sense. Don't own something where if it decides to attack you, you're going to be totally at its mercy.
Towels. I believe he pulled them into the house.
Neighbors say the woman named Betty was very active and a wonderful person to live beside.
Spry, continually out gardening, pruning the hedges. Best yard in the neighborhood here on the block.
No, I guess she provoked the dogs by gardening, right? Trimming the hedges. These behaviorists, they insist that dogs are always provoked, that they never attack for no reason, okay? But yet you never hear about a reason. After each attack, it's a mystery. Why the dogs attack is still unknown. The investigation continues. man, it looks like they've been uploading videos every single day. This is excellent. Well, I could be here all day. Already this stream is longer than I planned on it. I just wanted to hop on here. Let me go back to my PowerPoint and share or highlight this information, this extra bit of information. Okay? And that is, I mean, you got to keep stuff like this close in mind. You know, you got to be able to pull statistics and facts like this out just from your memory bank at the drop of a hat. This is what will intimidate these dog lovers. This is what will shut them up, because they don't stay mindful of facts or information, statistics like this. Over 50% of all dog attack victims are kids, yet kids only make up some 17% of the population. Dogs are targeting your kid. That's really all you need to know. That's enough to warrant their complete extermination. But when you add on top of that they usually attack women and kids, I bet you anything, women and children and the elderly make up a good 80% of all dog attack victims. If more. I'm being moderate. I will say at least 80% of all dog attack victims, women, children, and the elderly. Real men don't tolerate that. Real men don't tolerate it. There's no way around that. I know it might sound like I'm just trying to motivate. Yes, I am. But it's not with false propaganda. I'm trying to motivate people out there with facts. I'm sticking to the facts. So yeah, I'm trying to appeal to men's manhood. And I'm calling this a test of their manhood. Yes, I'm trying to appeal to people's racial pride. Show some value for what you are. Don't speak against parenthood, and don't allow dogs around your kids. This is serious. I've shared the statistics. We actually have a race of people whose population is disappearing. And it's all because of dogs. I won't say all because of dogs. I will say primarily. I will say that with all the confidence in the world. Yes, whatever I can use to motivate the masses to wage war on dogs, I'm going to use it 100%. And if I find anything else, I'm going to be right online talking about it. You can bet on that. Right, big shout out and big thanks to everybody who share the video, share my channel, recommend this other channel, sort of a backup channel for me. And I'm going to upload content on this channel over the next week or so, and become more active on this channel in general. A lot of people have recommended me to Rumble, and it's very useful because you can get an account just with Google. So I'm working on Rumble as well. I don't know how. I haven't even heard of it. That way I have other platforms and outlets just in case things like this happen. Again, big shout out for everybody who shared the channel and the live stream. And I hope to see you all on the next. as we continue with this crusade.